Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And having not failed enough for their own liking, the SNP-Green government is about to fail again with the imposition of a new wildlife bill. It's something that will be immensely damaging to the environment, immensely damaging to rural Scotland, and immensely damaging to many thousands of jobs that rely on the countryside. It is another failure destined to happen, something that will be rejected, turned away, and is basically unenforceable as well, because the SNP know that there's no policeman. What are they going to do? The police can't enforce the laws they've got. Never mind try and bring all this lot to heel. Let's face it, them what live in the country know the country better than them what live in the city. So we'll take a look at this to see why hundreds of jobs, thousands of jobs even, and much damage to the environment will happen as the result of, yet again, more green SNP imbeciles. Here goes. So, SNP Greens risking hundreds of rural jobs with idiotic wildlife bill, says new report. And we know this is a green policy. They want to be the ones that are doing this and this and this because they think they know best about everything to do with nature. Unfortunately, these people know sod all about nature. They know nothing about rural life. They know nothing about land management. They know nothing about anything. And yet they feel that they can pontificate on matters rural, even though none of them have ever stood in a field in their lives. So we'll take a look at this, see why these people are just utterly destructive in everything. Because the latest wave of backlash against the SNP's wildlife legislation has seen MSPs warned of the decimation of the rural economy unless changes are made. They don't like people having jobs in the country. They certainly don't like people going to the country and enjoying themselves, because joy is anathema to them. Imagine someone going out and having a good time, putting a smile on their face, being healthy. They don't want that. They want to control everything, and if they can have impoverished, nasty people sitting there ill, never seeing a green field in their lives, living in their little 15-minute ghettos, that's what they're after. The idea of walking out into the great beyond and having freedom, not their kind of thing at all, is it? Anyway, the SNP Green government is putting hundreds of rural jobs at risk. I would suggest thousands of rural jobs at risk with the pursuit of a wildlife bill that has been dubbed idiotic and unworkable by a shooting and conservation group. The Wildlife Management and Muirburn Bill seeks to ban all devices used to capture animals like foxes, including those deemed humane. So what are you going to do with the problem animals? You can't trap them, you can't kill them, you're not allowed to do anything. Some of these traps are humane, and they're designed exactly to be that. They're trying to ban them. And you have to ask, why? What goes on in their minds that they think that these things are in any way bad? Why do they think that land management is in any way bad? These people are morons. Anyway, it said it will demand new licences, training and rules for managing the control of bird populations. Now this has got, at this point at the moment they say licences, this has got nothing to do with land management. This has got nothing to do with the environment. This has got nothing to do with the welfare of animals. This is the fact that there's an economy out there where people go and do things, and the organised crime unit, the mafia at Holyrood, aren't getting their little tickle. They're not getting their cut. They want licences so they can charge for licences so that, everything you do in Scotland, money goes to them. They're looking for tax. That's all this is. This is them wetting their beak in other people's business. Nothing to do with the environment. Already, the legislation has been attacked by rural landowners, gamekeepers and land managers who've already threatened legal action unless the changes are brought in. Now, MSPs have been urged again to make the amendments to avoid the decimation of the rural economy, the biodiversity and the conservation of animals and plants. This time, the British Association of Shooting and Conservation, the BASC, has had their say as a report from stage 1 of the bill process is published. Also in the report is concern that the government body Nature Scot could have extensive powers to revoke hunting and wildlife control licences without evidence. And that, of course, becomes dictatorship. Don't like the cut of your jib, you're not getting your licence. Based on what? Based on nothing. Based on the fact I don't like you. There we go. You're handing too much power to too few people and with no oversight and no recourse, as opposed to doing what you should do, which is leave it the hell alone, because it's none of your business. You don't know what you're talking about. Holyrood's Rural Affairs and Island Committee plans to put the legislation to Parliament for a decision on its general principles before Christmas, but the annual grouse-moor licensing scheme, a key feature of the policy, has been called idiotic, and it has been recommended the first vote be pushed back. Launching the committee's report, convener and Tory MSP Finlay Carson, picture of him there, said there were legitimate but polarised concerns that needs to be addressed. They're trying to rush this through quickly. Oh, quick, it's Christmas. Come on, everybody, get this vote in. Christmas. Oh, let's all go away. Christmas. And they're trying to push this vote through without any form of scrutiny. This is primary legislation, and they don't want any scrutiny on it. They want to push it through so they can get their cut, so they can get control and micromanage every aspect of everything in Scotland. This is micromanaging people's own land use. Their land that they own, and the SNP want to micromanage every aspect of it. Why? Because they don't like the idea of people having freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom to tell the SNP to go F themselves. Among the concerns from the BASC stems from the issue of licences, which aim to address wildlife crime and persecution of raptors on grouse moors. They want these to be renewed no less than every 10 years. The report highlights just how unworkable the bill is for our members. We've repeatedly raised concerns over how grouse shoot, mule burn and trap licensing will work in practice. This bill threatens more than just successful moorland management, but also farming practices, conservation efforts, hundreds of jobs and millions in economic value. But they don't care. If it's further north than Falkirk, they just don't care. It's meaningless to them. It's a void. It's a space on the map. Here be dragons. If they could just sail that bit of Scotland off and not care about it, it would suit them. They can't abide it. They don't like freedom and openness and people getting about their business. Anyway, it said the direct and indirect benefits that arise from grouse shooting are too important to be risked like this. The thing is, they want this thing about, we can't be harming foxes, even if you can get a humane trap for a fox. Can't be harming foxes. Well, they need to be shown exactly what happens when a fox gets into, say, a hen house, or when a fox attacks small animals, domesticated animals, and grouse are semi-domesticated, pheasants semi-domesticated. You should see the damage a fox does. It isn't just snatch one and take it away and eat it. It's kill them all, and sometimes just for fun. It's disgusting what they do. And it's not just the foxes, it's other birds, there's all sorts of things. And they just want to stop the management of the countryside, which has been well managed by experts for 1,000 years. And then these guys come along who know nothing and want to change it overnight because, hey, let us do this and make us look brilliant in the eyes of the 14 people who vote for us, because they don't know anything either. Tell them the truth. Show them the truth. Show them nature, red in tooth and claw, and then tell them what they're like. Anyway, convener Mr. Carson said, maintaining the delicate balance between improving wildlife welfare where possible, whilst safeguarding economic, environmental and conservation considerations is paramount. We hope the clarity the Scottish Government provides in response to this report will enable Parliament to accurately address many of the legitimate but polarised concerns expressed to us by stakeholders. Our scrutiny has been extensive, hearing from a wide range of stakeholders with passionate and well-informed views. My emphasis, well-informed, not like the people in Holyrood, who are very much not well-informed. The SNP know nothing. And that is what's going to happen. They're going to try and push this through before Christmas because they need micromanaging of every aspect of life. They need to wet their beak, as I say, to take their little cut from everything that happens, and they don't want anyone doing anything that they are not involved in. They need a political officer in every aspect of Scottish life. It's like the Soviet Union. Well, it isn't them. It isn't up to them. People need to start voting them out. And I think people in rural Scotland already know that they'll be gone. They'll be voting everything other than SNP. It's just the morons in the city who think the SNP work for them. Oh dear. Oh dearie, dearie me. What's joyous is the next election will destroy them. When they lose all that Westminster money, they've got nowhere else to go. Bring it on. I'm coming up. So there we go. We've got another bill coming out of the SNP-Green alliance, and it is bound to fail, or at least large parts of it. There's going to be a lot of people voting down things, and even people in the SNP who are in rural areas may vote down parts of this bill. I can't, for example, see Kate Forbes voting for it. She knows it would damage her spectacularly, given where her constituency is, for example. And she's not the only one. And so I think there will be a few rebels on it, and I think that will be enough to bounce the bill, and that'll be yet another defeat. Where they're going to go? Supreme Court again? Dearie me. But this is what happens when you allow morons in the Greens to dictate policy. It's always bound to fail. Old Geoffrey and the Imp will be stamping their feet and crying into their cocoa when yet another bill drops onto the floor and scuttles out the door. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. We wish them luck in the fight and hope that sanity will soon be restored. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will talk to you later. Bye.